Like I said, this one has a pretty small little seed pocket. But this is a perfect way to have a little bit healthy twist on breakfast with incorporating some fruit and your cereal. And it can be any kind of cereal you like. If you get a cantaloupe like this that has a fairly small seed pocket in here, scoop all the seeds out, and then by all means scoop out a little bit more of the cantaloupe. So you can take this, and perhaps this one has quite a bit of flesh, so I can take my paring knife and I can just slice around the cantaloupe a little bit. And I can take a larger spoon and kind of scoop it out all the way around. Now I've got some cantaloupe and I've got the vehicle for the cereal. So I could have a bigger bowl of cereal and still reserve the cantaloupe I've scooped out for dessert later or for something else or just a simple snack. But for this, I would simply pour some milk in, just like you would have your cereal. And we'd serve it just like that. So we might have this cantaloupe along with our oatmeal, or we might have the cantaloupe with the French toast, but it was always a mixture of things that she made that kept us having somewhat of a balanced diet. Now what I want to do is to finish up our Grandma Nina egg. We have our soft-boiled egg. I have my piece of toast. I got a plate for this. The toast, she would simply butter, sometimes put a little bit of jelly, but again, everybody in the family liked something different. So, you know, I would have mine with jelly, my brother might have his just with butter. And after buttering the toast, she would cut it in little strips. And she'd set those strips out on a plate. And we'd have that little egg that she would take a spoon and she would crack that egg all the way around the top. We'd pick off all the shells just in one portion. Just go all the way around and take about a third of the shell off going down. And your egg would sit in its little egg cup. And of course we had a bunch of different types of egg cups, and you know, I would only eat mine out of a certain one, the same with my brother and sister. That was our special little egg cup. And then she would just pinch off the top, just like that. Just pinch it right off, and you'd have this little section of white, which she would put on the side. And she would puncture the top. And then we have a little spoon. Clean this off a little bit. A little spoon, and at the end we would scoop out and eat the egg. So while we were initially eating the egg, this is what we did. We took those little strips of bread and we would dip into the egg like this. Grandma Nina egg. Can't beat it. And then again at the end, the last thing I'd eat would be the little white cap that came off, and I'd always ask my mother for the salt. She'd come put a little tiny bit of salt on that for me when I was all done. She didn't put salt on anything else while we were eating. So today, to this day, especially when my kids are feeling a little bit under the weather, I'll say to them, what do you feel like? You know, I don't know, Dad, I don't feel so good. And mind you, my kids are 18 and 15 at this point, but you know what? They still get a little bit of that little girl, little boy kind of feel when they're not feeling good. And I'll say, how about a Grandma Nina egg? Well, okay, would you make it for me? I make them this Grandma Nina egg, and it's really a big comfort to them. They're eating this and they're feeling wonderful. One more thing I want to tell you about was on special days, my dad would make some fresh orange juice. And with the fresh orange juice, we could be having any kind of breakfast. So I'm not going to sit here and squeeze a whole bunch of oranges, but I just want to show you this, this great squeezer, which takes a whole lot of work out of what he used to do. Simply cut the oranges in half and you can squeeze oranges, lemons, limes, grapefruits. And this will simply squeeze right into the glass which is underneath. Perfectly squeezes the oranges, and of course we have our wonderful orange juice. Now you do need a spoon with fresh orange juice, because as you squeeze it, it will all settle and you'll get the pulp and you'll get the watery part will stay to the top. But any day my father was making fresh orange juice, I knew it was a special day for something, perhaps a holiday morning. So just to recap, you know, we had some of our favorite little sentimental things, like our egg timer and hand beater and egg poacher, and fresh orange juice that Dad usually made, Grandma Nina egg, which you can't beat, and it's definitely one of those home cures for everything, our fresh oatmeal, French toast, meticulously cut grapefruit, and of course the cantaloupe. Folks, if I can tell you anything, and today I really haven't taught you a whole lot about technique, but I hope I taught you a little bit about holding old family stories and traditions dear to your heart, because these are the things that you pass down from generation to generation, and they're simple, and while they might not seem like they have a whole lot of meaning, they're some of the most important memories and the happiest times that I want to recall. So get up early, start making breakfast. Believe me, those wonderful aromas will just pull everybody out of bed. And when they come down and you make these special little treats, and maybe you'll take some ideas from some things we've done here today. Perhaps you have your own traditions, and you'll just keep them going and pass them down. And while these things are relatively cheap and no real value, people would think these are garage sale junk. These are the things I hold dearest to me. I mean, you could give me diamonds and coins, and this is what I want. This is what I remember as far as happy childhood and growing up with family around and having wonderful meals, be it simple as they are. Enjoy your family traditions, and this is a way of preserving memories and recalling back happier times. I'm David Martone, Executive Chef at Classic Thyme. Thank you for joining me for a walk down memory lane into an old family breakfast.